Welcome back to Real Phonies, where we take a love for movies and television and combine it with very little knowledge about movies and television. I'm your host, Christian. Joined with me, as always, are my co-hosts, Joseph.
Yellow.
And Jehu. We're going to do news, but it's mostly the thing that everyone has waited for the last 4 months. What the fuck is DC doing? That's the title of this episode.
I love it.
Yeah. You have a list. I'm
proud of you. Do you
want
to read the list?
I'll read the list. Let's see if I can read your handwriting.
That's terrible. I really just scribbled it out.
Okay. All right. So the only thing that's not DC that I'd like to cover is there's a lot more Critical Role shit coming your way.
Yep.
I just want to say I was at an event in New Orleans this last weekend with some friends of mine who listened to the show, and they were just perplexed by Critical Role. They were like, what is that anime shit they're always talking about? I was like, man, they talk about a lot of anime shit. You're going to have to be more specific. It's like, got roll in the title. I was like, oh no, that's not just an anime. And like, that's some guys playing D&D and then listening to a podcast of it and playing D&D. And they were just fascinated by this.
Yeah.
So.
Many hours.
Right.
So last Wednesday, it was announced that Critical Role and Amazon have upped their deal to include new shows and possibly movies. The big one being Mighty Nine Campaign 2 of Critical Role. And let me tell you, I don't care about anything else we're going to talk about today as much as I care about this.
I'd throw every other thing in the trash for the Mighty Nine. I'm interested in like the general response to it because I know among the fans, I think Campaign 2 is widely, at least like majority, considered the best one.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But it's also like the weirder one. Like the Vox Machina fits into a lot of fantasy archetypes. Mm-hmm. Mighty Nine is just kind of its own fucking thing. So I'm curious to know like what the normal people buy-in is going to be on it.
Yeah, even by the end of it too, it's not even really D&D anymore. It's a lot of like monsters that Matt created, and
he creates a whole different like kind of magic.
Yep, a new magic type, and like again, he's already such a well-versed guy in that. A lot of those characters are playing new subclasses he created, so by the time like they're up there in levels, it's shit you're not going to find in the player's handbook anyway. So, and then to your point, like narratively, it's so far out there from what a normal D&D campaign is.
And I mean, that might be, I don't know is the thing. I don't know what like Joe Schmo is going to feel about, like, is the familiarity of like the general like pseudo-European thing like comforting, or is it like fun to be like, oh, this is a totally new like fantasy?
Yeah, if you were to say that, I mean, Vox Machina is very kind of like Tolkien-esque fantasy. Mighty Nine is anything but that. I don't even know how to describe it. I think the reason why it's so popular is you get it from the beginning. You see all these characters grow, you see the relationships develop, and I hope people are excited to see that in the TV show. Hurt?
I mean, I'll watch it. I liked the previous TV show, so I'll watch I've still never grabbed onto the podcast. I've tried a few times, but I did enjoy the cartoon, so I'll look forward to seeing this.
I hope there are movies too. I don't know what that movie would look like, but I hope there are movies. All right, so let's talk about the big thing on 2 days ago now. Peter Safran and James Gunn finally announced their Chapter 1, I believe is what they called it, of the DCU Gods and Monsters is how they're labeling it.
Okay.
And it's a variety of TV shows and movies. One thing that they made very clear is that if an actor plays a role in the film, they will also play the show on TV. They will also play the show in animation, and I guess maybe even video games. It's cross like all things.
I think that's a cool idea. I can remember back with the 90s Superman cartoon, I always thought, man, this cast would just make a good live action Superman movie. So thinking like that from the beginning, I'm into that.
Yeah. And so the first thing, I guess we'll go in timeline order of release or whatever.
Except we don't actually have an actual, at least I didn't see one, like,
the way you have it written out is I don't think anything's concrete.
Exactly. It's the order of the announcement.
Yeah.
We're talking minimum 2 years probably, like, down the line.
Well, the first couple of things that are announced are 2 TV shows. I think all of them are written by James Gunn so far. The first one being Creature Commandos, which is like the Suicide Squad, but with monsters. Unexpected.
I'm super excited about this. I think this is a great thing for James Gunn. My first thought is, who the fuck cares about this besides me? But I would have said the same thing about Guardians of the Galaxy when they announced it. So I think it's something he's going to be able to do something with. But yeah, it's basically, you got a team of monsters. You got a Frankenstein, you got a Dracula, you got a Medusa, and, they fight Nazis, which is awesome. You know? Who doesn't want to see Frankenstein punch a Nazi?
Yeah, I think Weasel is coming back from Suicide Squad in it. And yeah, just unexpected choice.
Sean Gunn is getting floated by nepotism for sure.
Oh, yeah, he's a Nepo baby.
Yeah, why has everybody decided that that's wrong now?
Yeah.
I don't really...
It's always bugged me.
It's always been a thing. Almost every famous person you look up did not work their way up from the gutters.
Correct.
But I just don't understand why now everybody's decided.
Gen Z.
I guess so.
Yeah. The second one is Waller, which is, who you're going to cast better than Viola Davis.
Yeah.
Right.
I said this in the chat. They threw everybody out, but they were like, Viola Davis, you can stay. And so they've given her a TV show.
We didn't play our game that we said we were going to play with this.
Oh, yeah.
Explain it.
Which, James Gunn, I guess it's been like 2 months now, but, he's still just kind of, the seat is still warm or cold, I don't know what it is. He just barely got in this new position.
Right.
And there are a lot of bold proclamations happening here about things that are a long way away. And, based on the stability so far of the DC universe, if we can even call anything that.
Right.
I think it's fair for us to speculate whether any or all of these things will actually happen.
Right. I mean, they have a history of things not having.
Yeah.
They have a history of making entire movies and then not putting them out.
Jesus Christ, they sure do.
So,
I would be furious if I was anybody who worked on that movie. Even if I was like a boom mic guy, I'd kill somebody.
Did you see the quote that Peter Safran said about it in the press meeting?
I did.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
well, but the thing is, that didn't make me want to see it less.
No, absolutely not.
I really want to see it,
Yeah, for anyone not familiar, he said he thought it was very brave of David Zaslav, or however you say his name, to can that movie because it would have hurt the DC brand.
But yeah, going with the percentages on these, I would go with Creature Commandos 90%, just because I think that one's already...
I was about to say,
already written.
So supposedly James Gunn has written all the episodes already.
Right.
Yep, and there's even art of it.
I actually think this one is probably one that was already in the works before he was put in charge. So
that's a good chance.
So I think it's just getting folded in with this anyway. So this one will happen. Probably.
Do you think this? Are you saying like this is a show he had already written, regardless of becoming the boss?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the same thing's true probably for the Waller show too, because obviously she is one of like 2 or 3 carryovers from the previous Suicide Squad. Obviously, he was a fan of that character.
I just don't understand like what the show is.
Yeah, well, she's not. I don't think that character is like necessarily deep enough to make a show. But I would have said the same thing about Peacemaker, and
apparently
that
that's
show's
good,
wildly popular.
You guys still haven't watched Peacemaker.
No.
It's so good, man. You guys really should. It's worth wasting your time on.
Yeah, and he says this is kind of the like in between season.
I feel like this one with her as the lead will probably have a little more serious tone. Like Peacemaker was played almost exclusively for laughs, but even when it was having heavy emotional moments, it would usually have John Cena in his underwear, so there was a laugh to be had there.
Sure.
So yeah, I think this one will happen. I'm sure there's going to be superheroes involved with this. I'm sure it's not just...
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that brings us to the first major film release in July of 2025, which, by the way, I don't know if y'all looked at the release schedule for 2025 already. Fucking stacked.
Right.
We have Superman Legacy.
Yep.
Which is the secret movie James Gunn's been writing for the last few months, which is a Superman movie. Not an origin story. Superman already exists, kind of dealing with the balance of being a Kryptonian alien in this world. Some of the things he's pulling from supposedly are like All-Star Superman. I saw a couple others I'm drawing a blank on right now. I mean, listen, of all those things he said about it, sounds like the Superman movie we want to say.
I'm so skeptical because you're right. Like, they said the right words.
All the right words.
But
everyone.
I just don't think that they mean it. You know? I don't trust them.
There's a comic writer named Grant Morrison I've brought up on this
a lot of stuff that Grant Morrison wrote is inspiration for a lot of this stuff.
I think they will probably... his preferred pronoun is they, but I'm sure I'm going to mess that up as I talk about him on here. But, yeah, I think that Grant Morrison will be brought in as a writer on this.
Grant Morrison and Tom King, I think.
Yes, Tom. Two. Well, I mean, one of these is just an adaptation of a Tom King thing. So
Tom King is in the writers' room for the DCU.
So, I mean, there is a lot of stuff from Grant Morrison to take inspiration from. All-Star Superman's a great one. Everything, I've said this on a previous thing, but everything he's talked about doing a young Superman, doing a Superman, learning about his powers, learning about, balancing his worlds and stuff. Grant Morrison's first 8 issues of Action Comics really deal with that, and I think this is going to be an adaptation of that. It may be wishful thinking, but I think it would be great if it would.
Now, we would be remiss in our duties to not mention that James Gunn, I can't remember if he directed or produced Brightburn?
He wrote and produced, I believe.
Wrote and produced Brightburn.
Right.
Which is just a hyper-lazy, hacky take on evil Superman origin. Which does not preclude him from being able to do this, but it doesn't inspire, super confidence in me.
I will say that there's one coming down the list that I think I have a prediction might play into the plot of this, and also sort of addresses that, but we'll get to that one. But yeah, Brightburn was fucking awful, and that does not inspire confidence. But again, he said all the right words.
Yeah, I kind of hope that after Anthony Starr as Homelander and J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man and Invincible, we're done with the evil Superman because we've got him. We've checked those boxes. They're great.
Who's going to do it better than those two people?
Exactly.
I don't even love The Boys, but that guy is great as that part.
Yeah. That brings us to the Lanterns TV show. Now, if you've been following along for 4 years, we've heard this rumor of there being a Lanterns show on HBO Max. It was even cast. It had different generations of Lanterns. Interestingly enough, did not include the most popular two, Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. I think Guy Gardner was the main Lantern in that, which minority here would have fucking loved to see it.
Oh, no. I don't think you're minority in this room, because I would have loved that.
However, new show, retooled, in the vein of True Detective, with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart solving a crime here on Earth, which is kind of lame. Excited for those two characters.
Oh, I thought it was going to be space crime, and I was trying to decide if that was going to be fun or really fucking stupid.
I think they said here on Earth, but I might be misquoting
sure
that.
the crime will be from space.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, my only issue with it is I kind of wish Hal Jordan wasn't there. I wish, you guys have heard me pitch this 1,000 times, but I'd love a Green Lantern movie that was Training Day in space.
Yeah.
Sinestro and Jon Stewart instead, I think would be good for that. I want Jon Stewart to be the main Green Lantern. I'm kind of burnt out on Hal.
Yeah. I told you guys a few weeks ago I watched Devotion. Mm-hmm. Just make those two fucking guys Hal Jordan.
I haven't even seen that movie, but I could totally get on board with that.
My other, the one thing we should do.
He would be so good as Jon Stewart.
That's good.
We did Superman Legacy. I think good chance of happening.
I think 75% chance.
I'd go 70.
Yeah.
The other thing we should do is, where do the Guardians fit in? Where are they cast in this fucking thing? Because curveball here, Chris Pratt is Hal Jordan.
I mean, it's not even a hard stretch for that.
I could totally see that. He could basically make it the same character.
Yeah. This, I'm putting it 45%.
Yeah. I think that's a good shot. I mean, he's a big star. James Gunn loves him. it'd be a get, and it wouldn't be a stretch for him.
Yep. Obviously, he's fine doing TV. He makes like 4 Amazon shows now.
Right. Totally.
So, curveball here kind of as well. The Authority as a movie.
I know nothing about this property.
Okay, first of all, I'm gonna go with my wildest pitch for this. You know who'd make a great director for The Authority?
Who?
Zack Snyder.
Oh, wow. That is really throwing a curveball.
Here's why. He essentially tried to turn the JLA into
you're
that.
absolutely right, yeah.
And he is good when he has something to adapt. Not to create, not to come up with his own story, but just to adapt. And the first 4 issues of The Authority would make a fucking banging movie.
Well, he loves heroes that will murder.
Right.
And I think that fits.
So you say you don't know anything about it. I'll explain. The Authority came from the late 90s. It was actually spun out of a comic book called Stormwatch, which was basically just a comic going nowhere. And, the now canceled writer, Warren Ellis took it over and introduced some new concepts. Jenny Spark, who was the spirit of the 20th century, a guy named Jack Hawksmoor, who had superpowers as long as he was in a city. He was the god of cities. So the bigger the city he was in, the more powerful he was. Stormwatch in like basically an Aliens crossover, Warren Ellis killed off all the characters except for his own, and then relaunched it as The Authority, where there was a guy called the Doctor, who was basically a planetary magician. I think the tech lady is named the Machine. And then there's the most popular characters, Apollo and the Midnighter, who are basically Batman and Superman as a gay couple. Mm-hmm. And it was a awesome comic at the time. It was, very much, hey, we are these proactive superheroes that just go in and take care of things. And it sort of introduced the concept of widescreen to comics. These comics were drawn to look like movies. Something I hate now, but
was novel at the time.
Was novel at the time. The first 12 issues of it are awesome. The next 4 are really good. And the comic sort of gets killed by 9/11. I would love to see this. I think this could also tie into the Superman thing. If one of the things he wants to do is make a point of a superhero is kind, seeming old-fashioned, then The Authority would make a great counterpoint.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Next, we have... Oh, what was our percentage on this one? I put this one at like 50 or 60%.
I put this one at 50.
I only put it above. I'd also say like 60%, only because this seems, again, very much like a thing that James Gunn wants to do. He just loves these oddball team sort of things.
This one is the one I bet he's the most into doing.
Yeah.
So it's going to probably happen.
Yeah. And I'm sure HBO looks at the numbers that The Boys does and thinks, we could probably do something like that. Next, we have Paradise Lost, which is an Origins of Themyscira, Wonder Woman show without Wonder Woman in it. In the same vein of Krypton and fucking Gotham and all these other shows you did not watch.
Right.
5%.
Yeah, this one I'm going real low. I'll give it maybe 12.
I mean, particularly since we don't really even know what we're doing with Wonder Woman right now.
Correct.
I
don't know if Gal is still Wonder Woman.
Right. The piggyback of this would have been off how popular Wonder Woman was in that first movie. But we don't even know if she's coming back. We don't know if we're continuing in that direction. So I don't know.
Why would I care about this?
Why would I care about this? Right.
I mean, look, if this was DC's effort to just be like, we want to retell Greek mythology and loosely tie it to the DC universe, I'd be fine with that, but that's not at all what they're saying they're doing. So I have no idea what the premise of this show is.
One of the ways that I think this could sell, I don't think they'll do, which is, hey, let's just do a whole show, no males on the cast, all scantily clad women. That could sell.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do that in 2023. So probably.
Yep. They described it as Game of Thrones, and that doesn't do me any favor.
I mean, it seems like anything with a large cast they want to describe as
or
Game
people
of Thrones.
wear leather.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this hits the Venn diagram of it. Yeah.
Next, we have The Brave and the Bold, James Gunn's Batman film. This will introduce Batman and the Bat family, but specifically a father-son story involving Bruce and Damian Wayne. Listen, I've waited a long time a long fucking time for there to be a Robin on screen. I like Damian. It's just not what I wanted from a Batman Robin story.
This is a generational thing in the sense that, like, I don't know, people who are getting onboarded into like Batman lore, like Damian is Robin to those people now.
Sure,
but it's just that we've been neglected for so long.
Listen. Here's the thing, though. I agree with what you're saying, but if you made me rank them, I'd probably put fucking Damian in at number 2. But I don't want to see fucking Jason. Honestly, I could even be okay not doing Tim Drake. It's just not what I wanted out of that character.
There's aspects of it I like. You know, in the last iteration of the DC movie universe, I really wanted us to get past Batman's early years and have a Batman where all the villains are already introduced. He's already had multiple sidekicks. And, you know, and we can just do a story going forward with all that stuff in place.
I will forgive this if it has Nightwing in it.
I mean, I think Dick Grayson will be in this.
Yeah.
I personally think Tim Drake would have been a better starting point in introducing maybe Damian in that story. But, you know, you've got Batman in place, you have Robin in place. Damian's introduced and takes over for him. I think Damian's a weird starting point. And I don't know. Again, I said this to you guys earlier. I feel like, in a way, we're getting off on the same wrong foot as we did last time, where we had a Batman who was close to 50 and a Superman who was in his 20s. And we're just doing that again. I don't know why we're doing that again. I'm sure this Batman will be younger than Ben Affleck. But I still think, I don't know, where you make him a father, you immediately make him older than Superman.
Yeah.
You know, you have a hard time making them peers at that point. At this point, Superman becomes like everybody else in Batman's life. Oh, you're just a sidekick.
Yeah, this is, it's on topic, but it doesn't have anything to do with this. One of my favorite interactions, which, by the way, if you guys have never played the Injustice games, surprisingly, pretty fucking good. Right. And the Injustice comics are pretty good, too.
The Injustice comics are good, yeah.
There's a really great interaction way between Bruce and Nightwing. And at the time, you think Nightwing is Dick Grayson.
Right.
And they're on opposite sides. Nightwing is like loyal to Superman.
Right.
And there's a bit where they're fighting, and at the end of it, he says, "You were never really my son." And Damian's like, spoiler alert.
Right.
Nightwing is like, "I am your only son." And he goes, "No, you're wearing the only son I ever had." And so, to me, that's what makes it so interesting, is that Dick is Bruce Wayne, like, perfected.
Right.
The good version. And Damian is the corruptness of Bruce Wayne.
Right, totally.
And we're skipping half of that.
Right.
Like, that's what makes the dynamic good.
100%. I 100% agree with that. Because, Dick is Batman without the psychosis, basically.
Yeah.
And Damian is only the psychosis.
Yep.
Yeah.
That story is... I think that'd actually be fine for the second or third one of these.
Right.
Like, if you'd introduced him having this dynamic and you get a couple of Dick being Batman or being Robin and then kind of becoming his own version of Batman, and then you introduce Damian and it's kind of the worst side of it, to me, that's a really interesting triangle. We're skipping 2/3 of it, though.
Right.
I don't know.
One other thing I was going to say about this is also based on a Grant Morrison thing. And one of the things that was cool in those comics is they made the decision that every Batman story ever was in continuity. Even though there had been multiple DC reboots, and there was actually a reboot in the middle of his run, he decided that I'm just going to play it that every story's in continuity. He came up with a cool plot contrivance for stories that didn't work whatsoever or still in continuity. And I think it would be cool if they did that in regards to the other Batman movies with this. Like, this Batman was the Batman from all the other Batman movies, even though those movies don't make sense to me.
And it's also important to note that this does not conflict with the Rob Batman 2. What's that director's name?
Matt Reeves.
The Matt Reeves Batman 2. So that said, I would say there is a 100% chance that there is another Batman film in the next 3 years. I would say there is a 40% chance that
this is entirely dependent on how Superman Legacy does.
Yeah, that is so true.
And also, I think I personally think it might be kayfabe that they're saying Robert Pattinson is not going to be the Batman of this universe. I think it's just so there's not pressure on Matt Reeves' trilogy of movies he's doing. But by the time he gets to 3 is probably when we're going to be like halfway through this shit.
Yeah.
So I think it still could be him as the Batman. Although it would be weird for him to have a 10-year-old son, even though he's old enough.
I want to say, the only reason I would want that is just because Robert Pattinson in like interview circuits is the fucking best.
He really is.
He's just like the rich white girl, but as a guy, and it's the best in the best possible way.
He's Daniel Craig without the malice. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gets to a point where he's no longer interested in doing these interviews, but instead of becoming grumpy, he just starts making shit up.
Yeah. That brings us to Booster Gold, the TV show. And I feel like Booster Gold is a character that has been long wanted. Felt like he easily could have fit in with the crappy CW shows.
I definitely feel like they've been talking about it for quite a while.
It still was kind of an oddball to me that this came out. Because you don't, again, nothing about Wonder Woman.
Right.
Nothing about Aquaman.
Right.
Nothing about The Flash. Characters that commonly associated with Booster Gold are like Blue Beetle. We don't know what's happening with that fucking movie. But yeah, Booster Gold. Sure. Fun character, fun concept.
I mean, definitely how Gunn explains it, he gets it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a guy who's just a loser that realized if he stole some future tech and traveled back in time, he could pass off as a superhero. It's good times. He's sleazy.
Gunn's the right guy, I think, to adapt this.
Right, yeah. It would really fit in well with the kind of storytelling he did in Peacemaker. So, I mean, as far as this guy wanting to get this done, I'd say this has a high chance of happening. But
for me, the sheer amount of times I feel like Booster Gold has like kind of got off the ground and then just fallen right back to the ground. It's a hard 30% for me.
One of the things I'm hoping from this is, they are going to treat superheroes like they did in Peacemaker, which is, it's all already happened.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to explain every new event, every new character. They're just all already there. And Booster Gold's great in that sort of world where he can sort of piggyback on other superheroes and, earn their disdain.
Also in the running for Chris Pratt's role in the DC universe.
Oh, 100%.
He would be very good at that.
And that would probably be a better fit for him.
Yeah. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This would be kind of a grittier take on the Superman story instead of, crash landing in Kansas and being raised by good parents, kind of being stranded in space for 14 years and just making it fucking work. I don't know anything else about it. This is a direct adaptation of a Tom King.
Here's what I have to say about it. First of all, Tom King's pretty hit and miss with me. He almost always works with great artists, except for Michael Jennon, who fucking sucks. But for the most part, he works with really good artists. So I usually always get his shit regardless of whether or not I think that story is going to be good. For some reason, I passed on this shit, thinking, I'll be able to get this fucking anytime. And then they announce this goddamn movie.
It's
and the first issue is 40 fucking bucks. This is why comic movies are starting to get on my nerves. They're interfering with my lifestyle. But that being said, I mean, this guy does very cinematic comic books. So I could see how an 8-issue story by him would be easy to adapt into something. And the premise sounds pretty good. The premise that, basically Supergirl has a different viewpoint than Superman because she knew Krypton. She knew everyone who died on Krypton. So she's a little more hardcore. I don't know if I agree with that take on Supergirl, but I think it could be an interesting movie.
Yeah, especially with her paired with Superman.
Right.
Like the dynamic those two would have. Again, it's so hard to rate these because they're so dependent upon the shit that's come before.
Yeah, as I was about to say, this far down the roster, nothing is above 25%.
Yeah, if he doesn't nail Superman, all the life chances of all those ones below it go down.
Yep. I will say, and we have one more, but it's kind of to the side for me. I do think tonally it feels very, I don't know how to describe it, vibrant. Like the characters and the stories they've chosen to tell, I can see very clearly in almost like an animated way. Like it's very bright, very colorful. I think there's a lot of hopeful storytelling in there.
I mean, I think to your point, I think there's like a good mix. Like they're not just catering to kind of one. I don't know. Can you have like a superhero ideology? It's not all the Zack Snyder cynicism. It's not all of like the Marvel kind of like laugh it off goofiness.
Yeah, well, I think to that point, like if I'm just talking about it, I mean, I am talking about deeper than this, but I can see it visually.
Yeah,
everything that is grayscale about the Zack Snyder films, the colored opposite of that in these, like. And again, we're talking about Superman, like red, blue, and yellow. Like it's a very like these characters are all very colorful and bright.
Right.
And I think we're gonna have more hopeful stories.
Right.
Even if we're having things like The Authority or Creature Commandos or something like that.
I mean, I think Authority is specifically there for a counterpoint. Authority is specifically there to show what the rest of it is not. So, yeah, I agree. I think these aren't movies that are embarrassed to be superhero movies, which most of the DC slate has been.
Yeah. Which brings us to our last, which is Swamp Thing. This will be a film seemingly directed by James Mangold. Everyone's saying talks, but while the meeting was going on, James Mangold tweeted out a picture, and then James Gunn retweeted it. Seems pretty fucking likely to me. I feel like James Mangold is almost to like GDT level of being attached to things that don't get fucking made. So I'm putting this one low, but I do think it's somewhat separate than everything else. I feel like you could make a Swamp Thing movie and it can be completely standalone, no connection.
Right. I mean, I hope they do anything but the Alan Moore run. Not that the Alan Moore run
I'm pretty sure the Alan Moore run is the inspiration.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other great Swamp Thing stories that won't send Alan Moore into a tizzy.
Yeah.
But it's fun when he goes into a tizzy.
It is fun when he goes into a tizzy. I can't deny that. Just some bearded wizard like swatting internet trolls.
There's like a weird phase for me in like 2005 to like 2007 where I was obsessed with these like horror DC comics.
Right.
Like Animal Man and fucking Swamp Thing. Like it was, and I don't even like gory things, but like watching humans dissolve and just their bones remain, I was like, I'm fucking cool for reading this.
Right.
That I really like. So, I don't know. I hope this movie's good.
I kind of wish they would have done Animal Man instead.
Yeah, I feel like Swamp Thing's kind of been adapted, and we just got Man Thing and Werewolf by Night, so...
Right. I don't know. I mean, I guess Swamp Thing is more iconic.
Yeah, I don't think Animal Man is taken as seriously as Swamp Thing is.
But, I mean, I guess it'll be fine if they do the Moore shit. I might as well get used to that's what they're going to do.
It's surprising James Mangold hasn't made a comic book movie yet. He hasn't, right?
He made the Wolverine, didn't he?
Oh, that's true.
He did Logan.
That's why I mean Logan, not the Wolverine.
Yeah.
When he did the Wolverine and Logan, he did both of them.
Yeah, he did both of them.
Oh, well, I was not wrong. Look at that.
Yeah.
No, they're not very comic booky movies, though.
No.
I mean, particularly Logan is barely,
Yeah. I mean,
it's mostly just a guy fighting in the woods.
Barely. It's an American dude fighting Japanese people. He just happens to have the knives in his skin.
I mean, that is a very disjointed movie because, I mean, the first 3/4 of it is not comic booky at all, and then it takes that shift at the end where it becomes very comic.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. I forgot about those movies.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's fair.
It's been a while. That's it for me. I don't know.
Do you ever listen to the Adam Scott Aukerman music podcast?
I don't. I know you've talked about it before.
I'm just because that's one of their bits. Anytime someone says it's been a while, someone else has to do that.
It's also a bit on Critical Role.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not a particularly original idea. It's just something that happens to normal people, I think.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you were hoping for or expected in this slate that doesn't appear? Characters,
question.
movies, TV shows you wish they had chosen instead of, I don't know.
I know why they weren't clear on what the status is of all of these movies that come out this year. For example, they're not clear about Zachary Levi. Gal Gadot is in Shazam 2. That's why they're not clear about Wonder Woman. They're not clear about The Flash. They're not clear about Aquaman. Those 4 characters all have movies that come out this year. So I get not being descript about them.
Right.
Whereas maybe you were clear about Black Adam, Superman, and Batman. There's no more appearances from those guys. I still would have maybe liked to fucking know. Like, I would have liked some indication. Is it just clean slate?
I mean, definitely, you can't say any of those things aren't coming back and not making those movies lame ducks.
Yeah.
That nobody's going to see. But you can't say one of them's coming back and not then be saying the other one's not. So I can get why maybe there's not a Wonder Woman movie on this list, even though maybe there's a Wonder Woman movie on this list.
There is a rumor that this is not actually the full list.
Right.
Yeah.
That there are things that they did not announce. And to your point, I wonder if it's because of how it connects to the characters.
Right.
If you're making a Themyscira show and you're not making a Wonder Woman,
that would be a wild choice.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah. On that note, is Constantine 2 still happening? Did that announcement happen before James Gunn?
It did, and it feels less likely.
God damn it.
God damn it. Surely he has to know that's a good idea. Like, never say no to Keanu Reeves. Like,
Not these days.
He's just so well liked.
He does. They did say they are going to do an Elseworlds title on things, and so the Batman will be in that. Joker will be in that. I think the JJ produced Black Superman movie is still in that. So Constantine 2 absolutely could, but here's why I don't think it is. John Constantine will, for a fact, be in one of these fucking things.
Yeah.
There are too many characters that are side by side to fucking John Constantine for him to not be in this.
Totally.
Did anybody else have PTSD when they said Gods and Monsters to that fucking animated piece of shit from a few years ago?
I like that animated piece of shit.
It fucking sucks.
I don't understand why you feel that way.
I think it's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I honestly never watched it.
I was going to say, one of the things I like about that I was hoping it kind of applied to, because I don't know a lot about the Authority, but like I kind of like is, so, the Gods and Monsters is a rework of, it's like Elseworlds sort of thing where they're still the same superheroes, but they're different people with very different values,
Right.
Superman is General Zod's son instead of Jor-El. Wonder Woman is it Big Barda? It's somebody from Apocalypse or New Genesis. I can't remember who it is. And then Batman is Man-Bat.
Right.
And my thing I like about it is that I think it does that like gray superhero thing better than a lot of other media, in that a lot of other media is just like, we're powerful, we can just do whatever we want. And then, kind of the traditional like DC big three is we are beacons of justice, truth, and like the best of human idealism. But one of the things I liked about the Gods and Monsters movie is that it's new superheroes who are not quite that high ID, like they're not like perfect things,
right?
But and so there is like more of a gray area. Like the Superman, I can't remember if he kills or allows people to die. Like there's not quite the same, but still has value, still has things that he won't break. They're just not the same. Like he has a different moral line that's not like the perfect ideal, but there's still that line.
Right.
I think that's what makes like kind of the gray anti-hero thing interesting. It's not fun if they can just do whatever they want whenever they want and there's no consequences. It's more interesting. It's like, okay, well, I have a moral compass. It's not your moral compass. It's probably not where it should be.
Right.
But like some things matter to me.
Right.
And that's one of the things I liked about that movie, and I hope that they adapt into, whatever their anti-hero thing.
Right. Yeah, Joseph, I usually have about as much luck talking you into reading a comic as you do as walking me into watching an anime.
Sure, we're going to talk about that soon anyway, so it's fine.
But you should really maybe try The Authority.
Okay.
Like, I know you loved Castlevania.
Yeah, well, yeah. In a dirty
you
way.
Enjoy Castlevania.
I did enjoy Castlevania.
I'm not saying you thought it was great, but yeah, it's the same sort of trashy fun.
Yeah.
One more thing I was going to say on this, since they're doing The Authority, one of the things I hope they're planning on doing, there was an Authority spinoff called Planetary that basically it was sort of like superhero X-Files. It was these 3 superpowered people who, who, sort of investigated the origins and the happenings of various Wildstorm superheroes, which just so happen to usually always be some sort of, take on a DC hero. They can introduce that in this, but just use the DC heroes, and it would be a good way to, with that as a TV show, you could sort of build the universe between these.
The only thing I have to add to this, and I thought this when they announced it, I didn't say it. I was saving it for the pod, and then I forgot, and you just reminded me.
Okay.
No Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
There's no Harley Quinn
That
on
is
there.
odd.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way
I was about to say,
she's not coming
It would
back.
be it would be foolish. It would just there's just no reason to do that.
I think anybody who was in the Suicide Squad is safe. As long as she wants to come back. Maybe she doesn't want to come back. Maybe she's
I
too
think
big for
she
it.
does, but yeah. That was the one thing I was like, well, that's interesting. But
That is interesting.
there's nothing here that they announced besides Waller that really ties back
Right.
to everything that come before.
I mean, a lot of that might be, what we were talking about with not wanting to show their hand. And also, maybe they want this first list to really feel like a clean break. Mm-hmm. Even though later they're going to work some of the older stuff in. I hope so.
Yeah.
The first Suicide Squad sucks, but she was good in it. Mm-hmm. And the Suicide Squad is awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's it. We talked about it for a long time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was worried we were going to blow through these points too fast, and now we're 50 minutes in.
I think we came out of this pretty positive, considering how not positive we've been on most DC products.
That's fair.
There's still some optimism left in the pod.
I can't decide if that's founded or us just being
Suckers
for punishment. Yeah. But yeah, that's the DC slate as it is so far. But let's just hope Constantine 2 is still on there. We'll see. But yeah, that's it for the news for the past couple weeks. What have we been watching?
I'm gonna follow up on two things I've talked about recently. First is the Bad Batch. I only am saying this because Joseph and I are on record on multiple occasions about arguing about filler. The last two episodes have been nothing but filler, and they've been a fucking blast. It's not that I dislike it; I just like it to be good, and these have been good. One as well is like a almost kind of like a treasure hunting. They're going in a tomb, and there's traps and things like that. Always will sign up for that. We've seen there another was brought back one of the coolest characters that came out of the Clone Wars that you never ever see again, which is Gunn. Got a fucking Chewie, a Wookiee with a fucking wood lightsaber. Should be in fucking everything, and he's not.
Right.
Happy that guy's back. Again, it hasn't really advanced the plot of those characters much, but it's just been fun to watch and kind of more reminiscent of the Clone Wars. This show is definitely more the sequel to the Clone Wars than Rebels is, even though people think Rebels is. The second is The Last of Us. Have you watched it yet?
I still have not watched.
Oh boy!
So I want to say a couple of things about it, which is I think the first 3 episodes are really, really interesting for reasons, that everyone's talking about, but for another reason, which is like the first 3 episodes are the 3 ways that you adapt a material. The first one is very literal. Mm-hmm. I mean, God, it's
almost shot for shot.
Yeah, almost identical.
Yeah.
And it fucking nails.
Yep.
The second one is like, oh, it's a different medium. We have to change some things, but it's still going to feel similar. And there will be like teases to things but we're going to adapt it a little bit differently. But it's still like 60% the same, but like, made some story changes to fit television better.
Right.
The third is a completely new story that you have fucking changed a little bit, not drastically, but changed some stuff and given way more detail, and it's fucking killer too.
Oh boy.
All 3 of them are different ways to adapt a source material,
right?
And all 3 of them are great.
I'm going to have to watch this.
Boy.
You guys are really selling this.
Yeah, no, it's like I was apprehensive coming into the series just because it's already so good the way it is.
Yes.
The best I was hoping for, the absolute best was, okay, we're going to like get some of the goodness of this story from a medium that a lot of people won't get to experience and put it in, like my uncle is watching the show. He was never going to play the Last of Us game. So at least maybe he can experience some percentage of whatever was good about the game. And yeah, absolutely. Like it has blown away my expectations in ways I couldn't have expected. The third episode, just an emotional gut punch.
The third episode is the best end of the world romance movie you've ever seen.
Holy shit. I'm just sitting on the couch weeping, and my wife comes in like, "Are you okay?" Like, I don't know.
Like, it is. There have been movies, I think, about like, people falling in love stranded on an island, even some that are maybe like end of the world. And this is an hour and 15 minutes. 60 minutes of it is this like two people falling in love at the end of the world, and it's the best version of that you've ever seen.
Oh, right on.
Like, and again, it's not really a story from the game, but all it does is enhance that world.
Well, and to your point about, kind of like in episode 2, they kind of start saying like, oh, okay, you're right, about 60%, and then there's some other stuff that we've changed either because, I don't know, it's more conducive for a cinematic thing, or just because, I don't know, we decided, let's just make the story different. But I think because I've played the games that I know what's going to happen. And I was like, oh, I know who these characters are. Yeah. I know what's going to happen. Right. Fuck me. But it was the best kind of surprise. So
Yep. It's really
good.
Yeah, that's it.
I didn't really watch a lot this week. I did a little traveling. We went to New Orleans. Boy, this is going to sound haughty to talk about, but we went to the Van Gogh immersive experience thing. It was really cool. I was expecting to be pretty bummed about it. I get really bummed about suicide stuff. I take that in a little too much. And, but man, it was just so interesting, and everything was cool. You go through basically a tour of all the reproductions of all the art, and then there's some 3D things and stuff like that are pretty cool. And then you get to the end of it, and it's basically like Vincent Van Gogh mixed with the Pink Floyd laser light show. And it's super fun. If you were someone who was into being a stoner, I bet it would be even extra fun. But I highly recommend it. It's worth a couple hours of your time. Does
the Don McLean song play at the museum just over and over again the whole time?
It does. It doesn't. It has its own soundtrack. They worked really hard on this thing. I was super impressed by it. And now I'm going to attempt a segue. Speaking of Pink Floyd, this is not something I watched. It's just a little controversy this week that I found so much fun. Did any of y'all hear any of the controversy about the 50th anniversary of Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon?
I have not heard any controversy.
Fucking great. I love it so much. I love any controversy where people lose their mind with outrage without paying any attention to the thing. So they, they're doing like a big 50th anniversary box set and stuff. And they did an announcement on the internet, and the artwork had Dark Side of the Moon 50. And in the 0 on the 50 was a rainbow. People lost their fucking minds. They were like, oh, now Pink Floyd's gone woke. I'll never listen to them again.
Have they never seen the cover?
They've never seen the cover, apparently.
Never walked by a Hot Topic.
Somebody mocked up a cover of it without the rainbow. I was like, I guess this is the cover these people were seeing.
Oh, my God.
It just killed me. I just love shit like that.
Kurt, you need to get on Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's only stuff like that I love. Yeah. I just love when, there was a similar thing a while back with Tom Morello when he supported Black Lives Matter, and they're like, I'm never listening to Rage Against the Machine again. What machine did you think he was raging against? Like, have you listened to the first line of their first single? Come on, man.
The best story of that I've ever heard was on Twitter, to Joseph's point. NPR was tweeting out lines from the Declaration of Independence, and people were responding with, on July 4th of all days, you're going to be sending this woke shit? And it was just tweeting the Declaration of Independence.
I just love that shit.
Yeah.
America
Love is
never
not a word.
changed.
No, America, please. Fucking change.
America, please. America for real life feelings change.
Do a lot
for
of things.
entertainment value.
Yeah.
You know, what a time to be alive. Anyways, that's all I got.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, I don't think we talked about it the last time we got together because I don't think it was out yet. It's something you skipped, which is The Legend of Vox Machina Season 2 is out. The first 6 episodes, 9 episodes by the time this comes out.
Yep.
And it's out. I don't know if you even knew that it came back, Hurt, but it's back on Amazon.
I knew that it was out. I haven't watched any of it yet because I'm assuming we're watching it for an episode, so I was just going to cram it all in that
for
week.
sure.
Oh, no, for sure. But yeah, it's really good. If you haven't started it, start it. This is actually not something that I have watched, but I just thought of it, and I want to remember and tell you specifically.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Nate Bargatze's comedy special that we saw just went on Amazon.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's been a long fucking time,
Yay.
but I just saw him, hawking for it.
I've seen a lot of that guy on the
It's weird
internet
how
lately.
stuff like that happens because I saw John Mulaney like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
And that
special's
still not
still not
happening.
out. Yeah. I watched The Menu on HBO.
Oh, yeah.
Which I just don't know. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's better. I think it is better than Transformers. Has anybody else
I
seen
haven't
it?
watched it.
This is becoming my favorite genre of movies right now. Movies where I'm not sure if that was good.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about, I don't think Don't Worry Darling was good, but I enjoed that movie trying to figure out if it was good. This sounds like that.
I think it probably is. It's got Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Hoult, Ray Fiennes, Critical Role alum Amy Carrero. It's if you've seen the trailer, you know what the movie is. There's not like a secret thing. There's not a subtext. It's exactly what it looks like, and there's no surprises in it. It's not a horror movie because there's no parts that are scary, but it's not like a thriller. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Is it very gory?
I don't think it's very gory.
Yeah.
There's an element of gore.
I mean, I feel like there would have to be with the premise.
Yeah. It's just I don't know what it's perfectly entertaining. Like I enjoyed watching it. I think it's dumb, but I also liked it. So
I want to ask you a question in the least pervy way possible. Mm-hmm. Is Anya Taylor-Joy naked through most of this movie?
No.
Okay, I must have had, which this will push me back into the pervy category.
Sure.
But I must have had a dream at some point about a red band version of this trailer where she was just naked through the whole thing. Because I haven't been able to prove it exists, but I swear I saw it. Maybe it's a Mandela effect thing. I don't know.
How do we recover from that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to be clear. I'm not super stoked to see her naked. I'm just convinced I did.
I do wonder with this movie, I felt like the general expectation was pretty low for it.
Yeah.
And then most people I walked out and they're like, no, I had a pretty good time with
Yeah,
it.
I think that's the correct response.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something I put on while I was working, and I would recommend you do the same. It's perfectly entertaining. The final thing I'm going to talk about is something that I threatened to talk about last time we were together. We finally watched the last 2 episodes of Mob Psycho 100.
Oh, you did it.
And it's a show that only 3 seasons long. It's the whole manga run, whatever. But I feel like it's written by the same guy who wrote One Punch Man, and I feel like it's heavily overshadowed by One Punch Man, mostly because One Punch Man has a very clear premise. It's the title. It's exactly what it sounds like. There's a guy, he can kill anybody with one punch. And that's like the source of all of the excitement and the malaise in that particular story. Mob Psycho 100, not as clear of a fucking title. Not as catchy. I don't think it grabs people, so I don't think it got quite the same attention. So this is my renewed plea for everyone, but specifically for Jason Hurt. Because I've also said this, I think when this season first came out, I do feel like this is the best non-Superman story out there. And I say that saying it's better than quite a lot of Superman stories.
What service do I watch this on?
Oh boy, it might be on Hulu. I have
believe
Crunchyroll.
It is on Hulu.
Yeah. But the basic premise of the story is a kind of real-ish world with some people have psychic powers or whatever. Right. Your main character is Mob, normal middle school student. Has psychic powers that are tied to his emotions. and at an early age became afraid of them, and so suppressed his emotions and therefore his powers, sort of thing. And in a world that has these psychic powers, mobs are just like it's not even like the same thing. That's why it's very much like a Superman story, in that there are other people that have things at various scales, and none of those scales are even fucking close.
Right.
Like, it's not even like a challenge.
Right.
But the kind of course of the story, as far as the seasons goes, the first season is very much about him learning to kind of get in touch with his emotions and deal with that, and also deal with the psychic powers. The second season is very much of like, great power comes great responsibility. What should I be doing with this?
Right.
What is the right thing to be doing? And the third season, in all reality, is a lot of wrap up stuff. It's a lot of, we have a bunch of side characters that you like, and we're going to wrap up their arcs too.
Right.
But I think the thing that I think makes it good, and that I think makes it a good Superman story, is that even though the whole point is, the whole almost bit of the show is a guy with overwhelming power solving problems that are realistically probably way beneath what he's capable of solving.
Right.
And it is a show that I want to give credit to. The studio is one of like the AAA animation studios in Japan called Bones. They made Full Metal Alchemist. They at the same time had My Hero Academia, the super money maker of anime these days, and the last season of Mob Psycho, and they said, fuck My Hero Academia, we're going to make the last season of Mob Psycho look fucking great. Which I love.
Right.
But yeah, even though there are great fight scenes and whatever, most of the conflicts are solved by like changing hearts. It's not about beating somebody until they can't fight no more. It's about changing people's minds.
Which is what a great Superman story should be.
Absolutely.
It should be something with all his powers he can't solve. He has to find a way to change the opposition's mind.
Yeah, and so, I think, especially since we've spent so much time in the last couple of years just doing evil or morally ambiguous Superman. Right. Just this, in a way that I don't think feels corny, in a way that comes across as very earnest. The idea that you have this character that is both trying to like figure these things out for himself, but also through these personal growth things, he's, changing the hearts of others and inspiring other people by his example. Like you said, I think that's what a great Superman story is. I think the very last arc of the third season, like the last 3 episodes, is a retelling of a Superman story that's been done probably too many times at this point, but done in a way that I think would make Bruce Timm be like, damn, I wish I had done that. So anyway, that's my hard pitch, and the last time I'm going to bring it up for Mob Psycho 100. 3 solid seasons, everyone fantastic, kicks ass. Way better than Transformers.
If it's available on a service I watch, I will have watched some of it.
I love it.
Time you see it.
That sounds good. So next week I'm not going to be here, so probably 2 weeks, and then I don't know if there's anything good coming out in the meantime.
When does Ant-Man come out?
Actually, you know what? By then, Vox Machina will be done, right? Because there's only 12?
Yeah. Vox Machina should end next week.
Are they really going to finish the whole Chroma Conclave arc in 12 episodes?
No.
Okay. I was like, that doesn't seem possible at this point.
Yeah, my prediction is that we probably will see maybe Umbrasyl and Voragal.
Yeah, okay. That seems right.
Yeah.
I have something I want to pitch to any of our listeners.
Okay.
If any of you watch that movie where the old ladies are trying to fuck the football players, tell me what it's like.
80 for Brady.
Yeah. I just want to know if any of the old ladies get to fuck a football player. I'm rooting for Lily Tomlin.
Sure. She's earned it.
Yeah. That is such a weird fucking movie.
I can tell you, I'm probably going to go see it.
I mean,
Fuck you. Fuck you so much.
I mean,
oh, I'm so fucking mad.
I'm assuming you see it. That's a movie you're going to see because you relate to the old lady.
Yeah, that's me,
Yeah.
Jesus.
By the way, for people not seeing us right now, this upset Christian so much he had to stand up and walk away from his mic.
Anyway, that's the podcast for this week. Please rate, subscribe, tell your friends about the podcast. If we missed anything on the DC slate that you were excited about or things you wish were on there, reach us at realphonies@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at realphonies, on Instagram, real_phonies. Thanks to Zach Evans for art and Brian Velasquez for our theme. We'll see you guys later.
Later.